So in today's video, I'm going to give you a little context. I meant to do this video about a year ago before Daniel Jones had this very great three game stretch. But we've seen this happen a few times where quarterbacks go to different places and they're often a high draft pick, and whatever happened, it just happens where they end up in bad situations. And we've seen this happen with Sam Darnold. He went to New York, the other New York team. It really doesn't matter. They're both trash. And they ended up in bad situations and didn't have a good career at first. Sam Darnold, it happened to Sam Darnold, it happened to Kurt Warner, it happened to, just a lot of different people. And it gives me more respect for people like Eli Manning. But anyway, in today's video, I wanted to talk about Daniel Jones and, why he's not a bust. So let's go ahead and get into this video. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious, especially if you look at this season with the stats that he has, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Through 3 games, he has 816 yards, so we're going to get into that today. So I want to start with the number one reason why Daniel Jones cannot ever be a bust. And number one is just simply the fact that despite him, first of all, to be a bust, you have to be a high draft pick. And yes, I know he was a high draft pick, but no one had expectations of him being good. It's not really about where you're drafted. It's more about your expectations, and everyone thought that it was a horrible draft pick for the Giants to go up and get Daniel Jones as high as they did. Everyone thought it was horrible, including me, and we were all proven wrong. Actually, Daniel Jones is actually pretty good, but if you look at, it just goes back to look at who has had success in New York and on either of the teams in the last 30 years. It's kind of hard to find. You had Mark Sanchez, who wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. But it's just no one has really had success there. Eli Manning was good. I feel like Eli Manning could have been way better. I think he could have been as good as his brother if he wasn't in New York. So it really just comes down to placement at the end of the day. Yeah, so the main thing to look at, though, is just pay attention to where quarterbacks go. A lot of people, if you look at Bryce Young, for example, he had a hard time in Carolina for a little while. He seems to be kind of finding his footing, but it's hard. It's hard because quarterback is such a dependent position. You need your offensive line to be good. You need receivers to be somewhat good, but more importantly, that offensive line. And then if you want to win games, you need a defense that's going to stop people on the other side. So I've heard people say this, defense wins championships. Well, you need to stop their quarterback and protect. You need to stop the opposing quarterback and protect your quarterback. I heard a coach put it just like that, and really it's just that simple. If you look at when the Giants were winning Super Bowls, they had a decent quarterback and they stopped the other team's quarterback. They stopped Brady twice. That's pretty much what you had to do. That's pretty much the formula for success. You can't give the quarterback enough time to throw, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. And when you have these quarterbacks coming into bad situations, they're often the one that doesn't have enough time. They're used to playing on a good college team where they have enough time, they have receivers, they have, a much better program. So, it's pretty clear. And then if you look at guys that, like Sam Darnold's, like I said earlier, you look at them go to different situations. Baker Mayfield, I always thought Baker Mayfield was good, but you look at how he struggled in Carolina big time. He looked like a complete bust in Carolina. And then he comes back and, to Tampa Bay. Very good situation, and he looks like a very good quarterback. And even in Cleveland, I thought he was good. I honestly don't really understand the Cleveland thing, because Baker looked pretty good in Cleveland too, and I know they're kicking themselves for that. But I've just seen this happen for so many years. Good quarterbacks in college go to bad teams, and it just doesn't work out. If you look at guys like Patrick Mahomes, wasn't really a high draft pick in the first round. If you look at look at Jalen Hurts. Even Jalen Hurts was a second round pick. You look at I think Jalen Hurts got drafted last in the first round, and then I'm thinking Lamar Jackson got drafted in the second round. Or I don't know. I think I'm getting them mixed up. But either way, they got drafted like a little bit lower. Dak Prescott was a 4th round pick. A lot of times Brady was a 6th round pick. A lot of times you're going to have success if you go to worse teams, and that's pretty much how it happens. If you look at even the quarterback in San Francisco, Brock Purdy. I'm gonna do a video on Brock Purdy versus Baker Mayfield because they have so many similarities. Like it could have been very different for Brock Purdy, but he ended up getting drafted very last in the draft, and he ended up going to a really good team, and he's having success early. It's not a coincidence. So I feel like in the NFL, it's very unfortunate. You see guys get a chance. They don't really get a second chance a lot of times. Like even I don't think Justin Fields is all that good, but even him, like he went to a bad situation in Chicago, and he's playing better at least, And one other thing you have to look at is what coach do you have? If you look at guys like in Denver, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Like if that Sean Payton has, like that quarterback's going to look good. I saw Jameis Winston throw 5 touchdown passes, no interceptions under Sean Payton. Sean Payton's going to turn any quarterback into a so there's certain coaches out there. It depends on so many things, but I just feel like it's so unfair that a lot of these guys they just don't get a second chance, unfortunately, or it takes an injury. Even Tom Brady would have never been Tom Brady had it not have been for a key injury. So it's just the way the game works. But anyway, I'd love to get your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.